What if we told you the iPhone 16 Pro Max may have a nearly 7-inch display, 30x zoom camera, and be completely portless? Would you be excited or overwhelmed? Apple is planning some of their biggest iPhone upgrades ever for 2024 models. Early iPhone 16 Pro Max leaks point to massive improvements in screens, cameras, power, and more that could redefine what we expect from phones. Today, we're going to be talking about some exciting updates coming to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. As some of Apple's biggest fans, we always look forward to seeing what new features and improvements come to each iPhone. But if the rumors are true, it looks like the iPhone 16 Pro Max will bring way more significant changes and upgrades compared to the more incremental updates we get on a typical S year. There's talk of the 16 Pro Max getting an even bigger screen, major camera upgrades like a periscope zoom lens, under-display Touch ID, and maybe even a completely portless design. Plus, early reports suggest it will also be more expensive than ever. So, in this video, we'll break down all the latest leaks and rumors surrounding the iPhone 16 Pro Max's design, display, cameras, performance, and more. We'll let you know what changes to expect, what's still up in the air, and if all these upgrades might make the 16 Pro Max the best iPhone yet. Sound good? Well, let's get into it. First up, design and display changes. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will apparently stick with the same flat-edged industrial look as the 15 Pro Max, but we could see its screen grow even larger, increasing from 6.7 inches to a massive 6.9 inches. This would make the 16 Pro Max tied for the biggest screen on any iPhone yet. And with narrower bezels expected, the actual device size might not change too drastically. The expanded display would still use OLED tech and have the same dynamic 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate as current models. Resolution could jump to a sharper 2960 by 1566 to match the extra screen real estate. We might also finally see under-display Touch ID. Rumors say the Face ID components would shift beneath the 16 Pro Max's screen. The front camera cutout would remain, but bezels would shrink even further for a more all-screen look. On the back, rear cameras would sit flush without the usual protruding bumps, and around the sides, Apple is still debating whether to remove ports completely. Multiple leaks suggest they are considering a completely wireless, portless iPhone in 2024, but experts are mixed on whether Apple is quite ready for that major shift just yet. But without a doubt, the iPhone 16 Pro Max's most exciting upgrades will happen in the camera department. Early reports say Apple is planning substantial improvements to deliver their best phone cameras ever in 2024. The biggest change would be the long-rumored addition of a periscope zoom lens. This would allow for increased optical zoom range, likely between 5 to 10 times without losing any quality. That's a huge step up from the 3x optical zoom on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So, with the new periscope lens combined with digital zoom and sensor cropping, total zoom capability on the 16 Pro Max could hit an insane 30 to 50 times. This would finally rival zoom specialist phones like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. We can also expect upgrades to the main wide-angle lens. Apple is reportedly working on sensor shift stabilization, allowing the camera sensor itself to move and stabilize shots rather than just the lenses. All the 16 Pro models would also get higher resolution 48-megapixel sensors. Put together, these camera advances promise vastly improved images and videos from the next-gen iPhone 16 Pro Max, especially in low light. The standard A-series chip upgrade is pretty much a given each year, so the iPhone 16 Pro Max will surely pack Apple's latest A18 processor built on the 3nm process. As always, we can expect performance and efficiency gains over the already blazing fast A17. Early rumors point to battery life getting a decent boost as well, thanks to improved power efficiency. Though exact milliampere-hour capacity numbers are still to be determined. Faster charging speeds would also be welcome, but most leaks indicate the 16 Pro Max will stick with the same speeds as current models, unfortunately. We might finally see Wi-Fi 7 support, though, thanks to the new chipset. This next-gen ultra-high-speed standard promises speeds up to 2.4 gigabytes per second. The A18 chip would also likely come packed with an upgraded 5G modem for improved connectivity speeds and coverage. And while ports might go away completely on some models eventually, the 16 Pro Max will almost certainly keep the USB-C port introduced on this year's iPhones. But some hopeful rumor sites say Lightning could return if those portless prototypes don't pan out in time. We'd rate the chances of that as nearly zero, though. So, when can we expect to get our hands on this souped-up next-gen iPhone? Apple has stuck to pretty consistent release schedules the past few years. If that trend continues, a September 2024 launch for the iPhone 16 series seems most probable. They would likely hold their usual early September press event announcing the new phones, then open up pre-orders about a week later, followed by a wide availability in stores another week after that. As far as pricing, early reports warn that rising costs of key components could drive prices even higher than the already expensive iPhone 15 Pro Max. If the periscope lens and other camera hardware prove as costly as rumored, base storage tiers might now start at $1,200 to $1,300 rather than $1,100, and maxed out models with extras like 1 terabyte of storage could break $2,000. So take these rumors with the usual grain of salt. But between supply chain challenges and Apple's own sky-high standards driving innovation, we probably shouldn't expect next year's Pro Max pricing to come down. And it would be a dream if we see less expensive version of an iPhone. And speaking of dreams, while the iPhone 15 Pro Max is impressive, Apple left room for the 16 Pro Max to up the ante. First, better colors. This year's 15 Pro Max colors are fine, but not exciting. We hope the rumored deep red colorway arrives, where Apple takes more risks with the finishes. Faster charging would also be great. Apple hasn't sped up charging speeds, though better batteries and efficiency should help. We'd like faster USB data transfer too. The 15 Pro Max has quick USB 3.0 speeds, but new Thunderbolt 5 standards are even faster, up to 12 times quicker. We hope Apple adopts Thunderbolt 5 for the 16 Pro Max. And if anyone could crack under-display cameras, it's Apple. Current models have image quality issues, but with Apple's time and resources, they could greatly improve the tech for a future iPhone. Lastly, the iPhone still rules as the single best-selling smartphone line each year by far, and for good reason. Apple keeps pouring resources into pushing what's possible from these pocket powerhouses. With giants like Samsung, Google, and others all upping their camera and AI game dramatically recently, though, competition has forced Apple to ratchet up efforts more aggressively themselves. The iPhone 16 Pro Max represents their biggest chance yet to reclaim the undisputed mobile photography crown, while also stretching key areas like battery, screens, and raw performance even farther. Assuming most of these early leaks and rumors shape up, it really looks like the iPhone 16 Pro Max could deliver their most substantial year-over-year upgrade ever. The reported periscope zoom alone is enough to get us excited, let alone the expected battery, speed, and display improvements. The only big question that remains is whether Apple can nail this extremely ambitious roadmap in time while keeping costs from ballooning out of control. Striking that balance between innovation and pricing will be essential to get people lining up for a 16 Pro Max upgrade. But with the deep talent working across Cupertino's secret labs, we feel confident their team of wizard engineers will dazzle us again next fall. So what do you think? Are you sold on upgrading after hearing about these big changes coming to the iPhone 16 Pro Max? Or happy sticking with what you've got for now? Let's discuss it more down in the comments.